Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I was reading up on CLOs, and I found a very interesting article talking about how hedge funds have found an exploit in the CLO regulations. Now, I found it interesting, but when I, try to explain it to people, it actually comes out pretty boring. But anyway, we're interested in this stuff, so I figured I would kind of explain it to you as best I can. Because it took me a couple of days to really wrap my head around what was happening here. And now, if you're not familiar with CLOs, these are the collateralized loan obligations. Collateralized loan obligations are loans to mid and large size companies that are basically already in trouble. They're having issues getting funding, and this is basically the only way they can get a loan. And when they make these loans, they get jumbled up into a box called a security. So thousands of these loans go into the security, and then they chop it up into what they call tranches. So you have at the upper tranches the triple A rated stuff, very secure. As it filters on down to the bottom, you get down to the equity, which is the highest risk, highest reward. So up there at the upper tranche, that AAA stuff, this is where the financial institutions reside. This is where the pension funds are, insurance companies. They're up there at the upper levels. Now, I think about it, these companies are already in trouble. Okay, so these companies that are already in trouble, having issues getting financing, get a loan into the CLO, and it's purchased by pension funds, who typically would not be able to invest in that company on its own. But because it's been put into the security, cut up into the different tranches, and given a AAA rating, now they can buy in. It's a very interesting play that's taken place there. Now, these AAA rated tranches of these CLOs, they give them this AAA because they don't expect all the businesses who have these loans to default at a rate that would affect the upper tranche. It may get the lower ones, but it's not going to get the upper one, right? At least that's the idea behind it. That's what they said about the CDOs and the mortgage-backed securities back before the financial crisis. They said that never in the history has the market on a nationwide basis dropped at a level that would be enough to affect those markets, but then it happened. So here we are with the banks exposed to these CLOs, and these CLOs are bigger than the CDO market was back then. And that's how they're built, is off these business loans. Now, this hedge fund who found an exploit with the CLO regulations, these CLOs down there at the lower tranche is the equity line, right? Or it's the equity tranche. That's where they're at. And the regulations limit them on what they can add into the company. And so what these hedge funds have seen is that if they pretty much get that company, right, they buy enough of existing shares or whatever, make deals with this company to buy shares or get them to issue out even more shares, they can dilute the amount of shares that are out there that these CLOs are in possession of, and it'll force them into selling. Because since they can't buy in, see, like the whole idea of these, and what do they call it? Equity issuance rights. So what these companies will do is they'll give like shareholders the exclusive rights to buy these shares. So if you own 5% of the company and they go to issue out more shares, you can maintain your 5% position if you choose to. Or you can sell that position off. Like if you buy it and you don't really want to hold on to the 5%, you can sell those things. And generally, since you get them at a discount, you'll make some money off the offer. Company gets funding and, they do what they need to do. But these CLOs, they can't participate in that. And the hedge funds knew it. And so when they got these companies to issue out these issuing rights, the CLOs couldn't participate. And knowing that the market is going to be diluted with shares, they had to get out of that position. And since the market knew that it was taking place, they had to get out at the worst time. Very interesting stuff I thought was taking place there. It's like these, the prey becomes the hunted kind of thing. Anyway, another article I found, businesses are bankruptcies on businesses is happening at the fastest pace since 2013. So when we go back to thinking about these CLOs and the exposure that the pension funds and financial institutions have against it, how large it has got gotten to be. You got the virus running rampant through all these small businesses, taking out the larger businesses as well. It's only a matter of time before these CLOs becomes like the only topic that people are talking about. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too boring. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.